There are two main ways to make a very rich fertilizer. One is called aerobic, with air in it, which is how we're doing here. Another is anaerobic, or fermentation of plants. And in many parts of Asia, they do fermented fertilizers. Korean, Japanese, Thailand. It's a very good way, but very specialized. You have to know what you're doing. The aeration method, why I like, is it's simple, and anybody can do it very easily. This system is really affordable. You don't get into debt. It produces really healthy, nutritious food, good for us, and the land is cared for and looked after. It's just a lot of fun as well. So, with the way we do compost is we make layers. We do green, dry, or green, brown, and we put layers of manure through it. The secret is to have alternate layers of carbon, which is brown stuff, and green, which is leaves and small branches and things. The green is full of proteins and lots of things like that, and the brown stuff is full of carbon. And we put this manure, which is just old cow manure, as an activator, because it's got billions of microorganisms in it. And as soon as you put this with this, they have a happy life, because these guys live in here and they think, aha, I've got some food, and they start eating it. So we're just going to lay a whole lot of these small branches. See these? Little wood twiggy things like that. And every so often we put a layer of small twiggy things. And now you can put the green, the nice juicy greens, we'll call them juicy greens. That's good. We're going to try and make it square, all the sides square, like a cube. That's good. Now, what do you think we need now? Sprinkle it all over, the whole lot. We're doing green and a bit of activator manure, then we do dry or carbon. So we're going to put this on. See, this is sawdust, not treated. Whoa. So spread it all over, nice and even. The next layer will be what? Straw. Okay? Each layer is about that deep. Just as you want, just whatever. What we're feeding, what's the engine room of compost, is microorganisms. Imagine you're feeding them, imagine them that your pet animal is a microorganism, you can't see them. What they need is air and water and food, just like us. So, if it's very dry, and normally this would be dry, it has to be wet, otherwise it won't decompose. We're going to run out of this, by the way, so we will only make a very small heap. Do we know where there's any more of this stuff?
Yeah, we can get more.
We all have to go get more green. See? Try to avoid picking up stuff if you see it's full of seeds, but it's almost impossible to do that. If it has lots of stalks, that's okay too. Remember the kite story? Everybody has a kite, we all put our basket in, and it all together makes a job. So how are we doing? Okay, next thing, what do we do next? What's the next thing? Yes, cow dung. The cow dung? Just sprinkle over, yeah.
Then
That other
do
bucket.
we need to put sodas again?
Yeah, yeah.
Soda sih
maybe.
त्यसो ला sih.
I know where you are. It makes that noise. Cool. Don't you like that? I can look. You want to make it go again? Oh no, I don't. Forest. You can get forest litter, leaves, sawdust, rice husk, rice straw, any kind of straw. Anything that's brown, you know, dry. It's dry, right?
Here
So
how same as well.
needs a bit of water.
So,
Now you watch this. This is sawdust that just soaks up the water. It'd be better to just to do it like this. I'm a bit of a fast learner.
silly di petili.
Okay, what next? Straw behind MC. We're calling it straw, but it's actually half green straw. But it's good enough. It's actually very good food, that, because it's already got a bit of green in it. This is the smallest you'd ever make this size. Never any smaller, because if it's too small, it doesn't build heat properly. A slightly bigger, about out to here, 1.2, even 1.5 metre is better. Green material can store for about a week or a week and a half at the most before, and after that it starts to deteriorate. So a week and a half before you start collecting everything in piles. It's just the idea of layers: green, dry, manure, sticks sometimes to make a bit of air. We can put a few sticks now. Not too many sticks here, that's enough. When you do it, break off, try to break these off a bit like this. Okay, so you're trying to get it cube. So your idea is we're doing layers of dry or brown, which is like a straw, then green like weeds, long grass, green leaves, then a bit of manure to activate, not too much, then some aeration like these sticks here and every so often, and water to keep it moist. And you just repeat that cycle, about 10-20 centimetre layers at a time. So if you don't have manure available, you can use good healthy soil, just small amounts of good soil, because good soil is teeming with microorganisms anyway. Just cow manure's got more in a small space, but it's still the same soil. Soil's just about as good, not quite. See, once you know the pattern, you can build this very quickly. Okay, sawdust.
Everything?
Yep, all of it. Sort of a minimum amount. You want it to be as high as it is wide. It's like a cube. If you think of efficiency of heat, a cube is a good shape. Okay, manure, and then we'll finish with sawdust. You could use, say, fish bones, small bones, but not the big ones. If compost is made properly, it has no smell whatever. It does not smell. If it smells, it's not made properly. It's called anaerobic, and anaerobic decay smells. And if it's a raining season, you cover with a piece of iron or something, because the rain will make too wet. Or if it's a hot season, dry, you cover also to stop drying out too much. Only the top, leave the sides. But if you make a cover, put two bits of wood like this and set it up. So you're trying not to let the air in. So you imagine if you had everything here and just 2 or 3 people knew what they're doing, you can make it very quickly. So the secret is you prepare the material before you make it. Over the week before you start making piles. And you have knife or whatever to cut material. And you can make a good amount of compost easy. And the best time is in the raining season when everything's nice and green. This will start getting very hot by even in 2 days' time. By the end of the week it'll be very hot. So we put a metal rod, like reinforcing rod, in here, like on an angle. And by the time it's too hot to hold on to, you have to turn it, because if it's too hot, all the microorganisms start to die because it's cooking them. And we don't know how hot it is, so we put this rod in to tell. And so I put it in, and then I'll explain how I use it. So you push on an angle so it goes right in the middle. See that?
Then,
This is steel reinforcing rod. So when I grab it, if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot. Time to turn the heap. By then, you could almost see steam coming off. And so then you turn it upside down, and so everything that's on the outside becomes on the inside. So when it reaches a temperature too hot to hold, we turn it upside down to where MC's standing. So everything on the outside, as much as possible, goes to the inside. And of course by then it'll only be much smaller because it will have shrunk a bit. And then we can make a new heap right here. So then when that starts to cook again, because it'll all start heating up again, you turn it one more time to there. And then leave it for maybe 1 or 2 months, and it's ready. You got any just